So it has been revealed today that Gina Carano and Disney have officially settled, and I'm happy about this. Now, I know some people were wanting, say, discovery or exposure or court. I personally was wanting court, but hey, at least this is better than nothing. So first off, let's describe why she got fired in the first place and how this affects me. Yes, this does affect me. Me, oh me, oh me. M-I-I, me. Hey, me! Ew, stop with your voice, you Japanese bobblehead. So she got fired all the way back in 2021. I can't believe it's been that long ago now. Early 2021 to, yeah, it's been that long ago. Almost 5 years ago now. So she got fired because she went on a rampage, quote unquote, on Twitter about her politics. All right, saying divisive stuff like, questioning COVID mandates and questioning mask mandates, questioning election fraud, and the two things that really fucked her up was the whole pronoun thing. All right, so basically what happened was people wanted her to put her pronouns in her bio. She said she didn't. All right, I assume she thought the idea was stupid, so she made fun of it. All right, so she put beep bop boop as a Star Wars reference in there. And then all the dudes in dresses got mad. Okay, I'm joking when I describe it that way, but I don't know. You know, my videos, I have to include my sense of humor in there. And then, what really got her fired, Gina did say that within Disney, they were telling her to apologize for her tweets, and, she was put in a struggle session with a bunch of, fat cows. Oh, God. I can't help myself, I swear to God, I can't help myself! Anyway. So what actually got her fired, for the most part, was a post on Twitter or Instagram, I think, where she compared political division here in America to the Holocaust. Now, there's a lot of things the media is trying to spin it as being a conservative to being a Jew in Nazi Germany. I mean, look. In her critics' defense, it's a little bit too extreme of a comparison. It was a horrible event, a horrible time. You know, she probably would have gone with something better if she wanted to describe political division. But at the same time, these are the same people who don't want... these are the same people who preach about giving indigenous back their land, yet they don't want certain indigenous in the Middle East to get their land back. Whoa, I'm on a roll. So Gina Carano was fired because of the post about Nazi Germany, and a lot of her counter-arguments was, oh boy, you ready for this? You ready for this? Pedro Pascal, Mark Ruffalo, Jack Black, a lot of other people are allowed to express their more extreme beliefs. All right, she counted all of them. All right, she talked about a lot of them, and I can name a lot of people working at Disney who constantly spout politically divisive shit when she does too. Now, I get mad at actors sharing their politics because, well, one, it's very unnecessary. Alright, like recently, Eben Moss-Bacharach said, if I had the Thing's powers, I would throw a bunch of fascists into space. But Dad, you could be talking about North Korea, or Russia, or Afghanistan, or maybe fascists back in the day. No, we all know what the fuck he's talking about. He's from America, so you know what he's talking about. Alright, now compare that to what Gina Carano does. Alright, Gina Carano is a nice woman. I met her 3 years ago at Fan Expo. Really nice lady. Really nice. Alright, her lines were pretty bigger than everyone else. She did say that a lot of voice actors shunned her. I do know a lot of mainstream actors tend to be far left. No offense to my voice actors who are going to be in my Fantastic Four comic dub, but heck, even Zachary Levi, when he endorsed Trump, said, hey, let's all get along, let's all, just hugs and kisses if we lose or something, What else do a lot of, especially more on the far left side say? Now, I'm not doing this as a way to discourage all leftists, dare I say, all leftist celebrities. There are good people on both sides. There are good people on both sides, especially in celebrity culture. And if you're someone who aligns with me politically, who's more right-leaning, who's more red, all right, you need to get that idea in your head straight away. Don't become the very people, you know, the very angry people, the very angry, hateful people on Twitter, the Evan Loves Wharfs, or as I like to call them, Evan Loves Johnsons of the world. Don't become like one of those people. All right, be better than them in every way possible. All right, like, what do we got? All right, Will Wheaton said, had nerd culture is a safe space. Don't let Zachary Levi in. And then you have a bunch of other celebrities like saying, stop following me. You had Markiplier back during the whole Roe v. Wade thing saying, if you don't believe in abortion like I do, who fuck you. He literally said, fuck you, which he means fuck me. So, fuck you too, Markiplier. Jacksepticeye, he doesn't say, damn it, I was hoping Kamala would win. But hey, if this is what America wants, good for you guys. No, he says, I can't believe people are stupid enough to do that. So, celebrities on the more left-leaning side are a lot more vile, mean, and angry people. Alright, you can compare that to some celebrities on the right, too. The only one who I can say is like that is probably Kevin Sorbo, but I don't know, maybe it's because I tend to agree with him, but he's not all that. Well, he's not harsh to people on the other side at all. Alright, you could share your views and not be a dick about it, but like I said, the only person who comes close to doing that is probably Kevin Sorbo. Alright. And again, not everyone on the left is like a Mark Hamill or a Mark Ruffalo. Alright. Yeah, the Avengers cast did that cringe-ass video for Kamala, but I bet you a good, like, 50% of those people probably do not have the same angry, hateful mindset that Mark Ruffalo does. Alright, they were either there because they actually do believe in Kamala as a president, or they were there because they were paid by Kamala. Alright. But what really makes it all fucked up is that there was evidence for a long time that the industry did blacklist conservatives. Alright, I know some smartass in the comments is gonna go, stop it. Stop it. It doesn't matter what people like Kevin Sorbo or James Woods say, alright? You are blinded by your own biases when it comes to that. You are blinded by your own biases. Alright, it has been, and it was even confirmed by me to Dean Cain that the industry hates conservatives, at least people within the industry. So yeah, I talked to Dean Cain, also really a nice guy. He allows people to talk to him as much as possible. Alright, that's how cool he is. Alright, like me and him even talked about politics a little. I told him I wanted to be a wannabe filmmaker, and he said, you know, oh yeah, but be careful, because the liberals in Hollywood would always try to kick your ass out. Well, he in the way he words it, it's like, they're a bunch of spoiled brat babies who hate that I'm there and will try to find any excuse to kick my ass out. That kind of felt like how he worded it, but when you have people like Mark Hamill, alright, who go force yourself. Go force yourself. Alright, when you have him say shit like that, that's unacceptable. You're Luke Skywalker, and instead of talking about Star Wars, alright, even if you did want to talk about politics, go after policy. Alright, do it in a more nuanced way. Nope, instead you tell me to go fuck myself. I've been trying to force myself for a long time, and I still don't know, and I still haven't successfully done it. I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, the reason why Gina Carano got settled, and the reason why she's coming back to Star Wars in the future, is because a lot of actors in Hollywood are far-left partisan idiots. Alright, they're a bunch of assholes. Alright, and I'm not just saying this because I like this guy I'm about to mention, but Arnold Schwarzenegger was able to admit when he's wrong. I see a lot of conservatives still hold against him the screw your freedom thing, and that was pretty stupid. Alright, but he still apologized for it. He still has his, pro-legal immigration views. All right. So, going back to the whole blacklisting conservatives thing, if you have asshole websites like Variety, Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, I have seen them make completely partisan headlines. All right, and you have mentally ill people there like Mark Hamill, Will Wheaton, unfortunately, John Cleese is trying to go down this rabbit hole too. All right, and there's tons of evidence to confirm that the industry blacklists conservatives. All right. Uh, of course I'm gonna have a fucking problem with you. Of course I'm gonna be worried. And the thing, what makes me want to be in Hollywood so bad was because, come on, have you seen the Universal backlot? Of course I would like to film something there. Of course I would like to film something in the Universal fucking backlot. And not to mention, let's look at other people's filmographies. Alright, you know, how Seth Rogen was able to do a Ninja Turtles movie. Who else? David Hayter, Solid Snake himself, was able to do a couple of X-Men movies. He wrote the very first two movies, by the way, even though I'm not the biggest fan of them. Who else? James Gunn was able to make a lot of his favorite comic characters popular in the first place. And there was a time when James Gunn was a dick too. He's like, I don't care if I lose fans. Fuck Trump and fuck his supporters. But of course he can't say shit like that anymore because he's running a fucking company, which I'm glad. You know, James Gunn redemption arc, not being a dick. You don't have to change your views for redemption arc. You have to not be an asshole. All right? People need to take shots the more I say dick or asshole in this video. Now, before you ask, smartass in the comments, yes, I know, we can't always get what we want, blah, 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 blah. Like, I know Edgar Wright and Ant-Man, James Cameron and Spider-Man and all this bullshit. But I would still like to live in a world where there's a possibility where, I'm just making an example here, I get to make a What Remains of Edith Finch movie. Alright? Alright, I get to make a What Remains of Edith Finch movie with, you know, a big studio. Alright, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Alright? Like, my name in a movie like Paramount or Disney or 20th Century Fox, whatever, like that idea kind of brings me joy, but also kind of brings me fright at the same time. Of course it's gonna bring me fright, because it's a whole new world that I'd be entering in. Alright, and when I put the pieces together, that people like me, alright, get blacklisted, all because we don't agree on subjects like abortion or religion or other stupid shit. The stupidest of shit that any normal person would go, I don't agree with you, but hey, you're still cool, you know? Then I'm gonna be fucking pissed. I'm gonna be let down. Alright, I'm gonna be fucking, you know, sad. Alright? That's what's gonna happen to me. Alright, I'm... Alright, so I think going forward, conservatives within the industry are gonna have equal treatment as liberals. I think extremes of both sides could be fired as well. And that's what I want, equal opportunity. Alright, and speaking of celebrities being dicks, I can't believe I forgot about that. Stephen DeKnight, personally, called me a fascist. All I said after he was going on constant rants about Trump and anti-woke people, I was like, you know, I used to be a fan of your work. He actually responded to me calling me a fascist. Alright, I'll show you proof at the very end of the video. Alright. That is how celebrities are fucking pathetic. That is how Hollywood is fucking pathetic. Alright. Like, I want to live in a world where there's a possibility that I'm doing a video game movie adaptation of a video game that I'm a huge fan of. That's just me. That's just me, though. That's just what I want. If that's not what you want and you want to be a filmmaker, that's fine. I don't want to be some right-wing Michael Moore or something. Am I saying his name right? For some reason, I was thinking Alan Moore, but no. What I want to be is a celebrity who happens to be right-wing. Like, that's what celebrities should be. People who just happen to be on one side or the other. Maybe I share my opinions every once in a while on Twitter. But, and yeah, I'll admit, there are times on Twitter where I am harsh. But that's because my anger got in the way. But at the same time, all right, you know who's more guilty of that? You know who's more guilty of that? The left. And you have your liberal actors saying stupid shit, whether it be Rachel Zegler about the original source material, whether it be Eben Moss-Bachrach or Pedro Pascal unnecessary putting their politics into the promotion of Fantastic Four or anything else they're fucking in. All right. It is so unfair that they're allowed to say whatever the fuck they want, yet Zachary Levi gets all the scrutiny in the world, at least on social media, by fucking Daniel RPK. All right, fuck Daniel RPK for doing that to Zachary Levi. All right. It's so unfair that people who just have different views like Zachary Levi gets a lot of scrutiny. All right, people on social media are listened to for advice on how to handle Zachary Levi. But all the liberals are allowed to do whatever they want. They're allowed to run along and play, continue getting work. Every movie with Mark Hamill in it, I'm just not going to see. He's going to be in that new SpongeBob movie. I'm not seeing that movie. You want to know why? Because I am not tolerating a human being who I used to like, and then he told me to go fuck myself. Luke Skywalker, if you were to tell me, like, 5 years ago, I mean, yeah, that was kind of when Mark Hamill started, but I wasn't too into politics at the time. If you were to tell me 5 years ago that Luke Skywalker himself, a guy who I wanted to meet, God, I remember when The Last Jedi was coming out, I was like, God, my number one celebrity I want to meet is Mark Hamill, because I love Luke Skywalker, alright? I grew up with Star Wars since I was 7. Alright, I'd be fucking like, what? You gotta be kidding. That's like a dystopian, and we're living in that dystopian future. Alright. So back to the blacklisting part. So I apologize that this video kind of felt nonchalant, like kind of all over the place, like a Frankenstein's monster of subjects. So yeah, there is evidence. It has happened. I'll link a couple of things in the description below that shows proof of that. Alright, it might be from biased sites, but it's definitely not. But yeah, that idea was all but confirmed to me by Dean Cain when I met him. Alright. So I'm happy that I'm now going to live in this world. And the reason why I said I wish I wanted court is so, you know, it could expose Hollywood for the hypocrisy that they are. And I know I'm shit-talking Hollywood, the H word, alright, but when it comes to my self-esteem of my dreams, let me tell you something. The right's not off the hook on that either. They tried to make it seem like it's a big doom and gloom scenario. I'm never gonna do it. You know, I might as well shoot myself or something. I never thought of that. Don't worry, folks. But, look at the people who built Hollywood. Alright, if you actually do a little bit of research, you would figure out that Leslie Nielsen himself, Mickey Rooney himself were both right-leaning people. I don't know that 100%, but I found that from my research. And we all know, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lord rest his soul, he died when I was just 2 years old, Charlton Heston. Alright? You know, one of the, I think he was a founder, but he was definitely a higher up for the NRA. Alright, he's been in so many great movies, and he was NRA, he was a civil rights leader also. And yeah, our industry was built by people of both sides, and the people who were listened to when it comes to who's allowed or who's not are the fucking animats of the world, the John Rocas of the world, the fully partisan assholes, alright, the asshole movie fans, those kind of people. And yet, you just want to sit here and go, I've literally seen liberals say this, the industry does not blacklist conservatives. You throw a fucking hissy fit whenever Chris Pratt shares a word about the Lord. Alright, you fucking threw a hissy fit when Zachary Levi endorsed Trump. Alright, I know that for a fact. That's what you fucking did. So yeah, you know, I think going forward, there will be a lot more people allowed in Hollywood. Regardless, there'll be a lot more people allowed in unions. I think unions are fucking stupid. Alright, I don't think you need to join a fucking big-ass company. In my opinion, SAG-AFTRA is a company. Alright, it's not a union, it's a business. It's a company. And all the little actors are its employees. All right, I especially don't want to work with the fucking union because, you know, in case there's another strike happening, you know, like, I'd rather just do what I love doing, you know? Oh, like, I know everyone else is not gonna be working, but hey, you know, I'm the kind of guy who likes to plan ahead. That's why my videos take so long to make. Don't worry, that's not the exact reason. There's a lot of other things too, like the stupid fucking microphone that I'm on. Okay, I had to lower my tone of voice because I was going close to the mic. But yeah, I rather do what I love and not be a fucking puppet. That's why I hate unions. I hate it. I hate it with all my heart. But yeah, so I am excited to see where my future is going. All right, I think, like I said, I think both the left and the right are guilty on my mental health when it comes to the subject of dreams, quote unquote. Like, there's the left who likes to make everything a doom and gloom for permanent scenario, and then there's the left who are a bunch of assholes. All right, who started this in the first place. So I blame both sides for my mental health as well, although I'm a right-leaning person. But yeah. I think going forward, there's going to be a lot more tolerance on who gets to work within the industry. And I'd say years and years and years from now, call me insane for saying this, but we live in a world where Michael Bay is coming back to Transformers, for fuck's sake. Please, I hope that means my ex is also coming back. Woo! I'm an asshole. I also think going forward, there also could be a giant civil war within Hollywood. All right, you're gonna have, like, especially on the voice acting side, you're gonna have your team Jim Cummings and you're gonna have your team Sungwon Cho's. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry if this video went off the rails. You know, this is why I call this the podcast format, even though I don't think I'm gonna make this a podcast format episode. But this is a very important subject to me because this is what I've wanted ever since I was a kid. All right. You know, movies are some of my favorite formats in the world for entertainment. I'm Gen Z, so I'm a bit mishmash about what my favorite form of media is, whether it be movies or video games or comic books or just books or something. And like after watching documentaries like the movies that made us on Netflix and watching YouTube channels like Walter Benaziac from Channel Awesome's Juniversal, that started this year, and Bullets and Blockbusters, I highly recommend his videos. Like, that's something I would love to be a part of. Yeah, I'm not gonna get fucking everything that I want, but at least I'm gonna be a part of it. Like, that's what matters at the end of the day. Well, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye.